What's up, y'all? You are now tuned in to
Love and Relations,
where we bring the hottest topics,
the spiciest topics,
topics that will make your heart drop,
and your ears pop.
This is your boy, Tim.
And this is your girl, Sharice.
And together we are
the Edmond.
Yo, what is up, y'all? We are the Edmonds. My name is Tim.
And my name is Sharice.
And we are back, y'all. We are back with another episode, guys.
Of Love and Relations.
Love and Relations, babes. I love you.
I love you too, Chocolate.
Thank you. It feels good to be loved. Guys, this is what we need you guys to do. We need you guys to like the video. We need you guys to share it. Guys, we do thank you. We thank you for all your support that you guys have been giving us throughout the weeks that we've been doing this. We really do appreciate your support. So, guys, this is what we need you guys to do right now. We need you to like and share it. Go on our social media platforms, Apple Podcasts, the Edmonds, Instagram, _Edmonds, YouTube, the Edmonds, Anchor, the Edmonds, Spotify, the Edmonds, Google, the Edmonds. Everything is the Edmonds, guys. And guys, I do post a link every week. I post a link, that has all our social medias that you can go and like and share and subscribe. Guys, again, we do this for you guys. We want you guys to be happy. You can always inbox us and let us know, let us know what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. Babes, tell us about the podcast.
So basically, our podcast, Love and Relations, is about all types of relationships. Your relationship with your significant other, your relationship with your family, your friends, your children. We touch on all bases on all dynamics.
All bases on all dynamics of relationships. Mm-hmm. Speaking of relationships, babe, you really look good today, girl.
Oh, thank you, Chocolate.
I like the lip color.
Now you know I love me a good lipstick.
I love the lip color, babe.
If I don't put nothing else on, I'm going to put some lipstick on.
You a trip. Guys, how about the Lakers? Those Lakers are showing out.
Y'all see my colors?
Guys, we here to represent. I know we're in the region where it's a lot of Heat fans. I know we're in Florida where there's a lot of Heat fans. But guess what, guys? I'm Team LeBron, so I'm rocking with the Lakers. I am rocking with the Lakers. How about you, babe? You rocking with the Lakers with me?
Yeah, I'm a bandwagoner.
Man, you didn't have to say all that. You could just say I'm rocking with the Lakers with you.
Guys, I don't have no piece of interest when it comes to sports, but my husband likes sports. So when we get to, the finals and playoffs and stuff, that's when I start watching.
That's when we all start watching.
That's when I start watching.
I think that's when we both start watching. Again, guys, we got 4 kids. Our kids don't allow us to watch TV like that. So again,
y'all is like a zoo over here.
When we can, we do. So again, we got some juicy topic for you guys today that I think you guys will actually like. So again, I'm glad that you guys are tuned in, ready for the topic. The topic is foundations.
Oh yeah,
foundations.
Y'all ready for foundations?
Again, we're gonna break down this foundation, and guys,
we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
All right, I do have one question for y'all. How do you feel about the kids going back to school?
Ooh, that's
now me
that's personally.
A hot topic. Me personally, I I have no choice but to send them back to school because Tim and I both are working.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to send my children. Not everybody has the support system where you can have someone sit at home. My
Uh-huh.
people are older. My husband's people are older. So they don't, they're not able to sit and watch three kids on a computer or help them operate a computer
Mm-hmm.
system. So with me working and him working, it is in our best interest to send them back to school. Also, I feel like one of our children really needs a school setting. So
Yep. And so again, guys, tune in on that question. How do you feel about your kids going back to school? Is your kids going back to school or are they staying with e-learning? What you can do is you can call in at 205-851-0185 and let us know how you feel about it. Again,
I pinned the number inside of the comments. You guys should be able to see it. So if you want to call in and tell us how do you feel about the kids going back to school or why you decided to keep your kids home still.
And guys, not like be cautious. We got a lot of parents on here that's ready for their kids to go back to school. So everybody, I just want to hear, this is a hot topic. As you scroll down Facebook, this is a very hot topic. Some people are scared, some people are ready. So again, let us know how you feel. Now let us get to our topic, foundations.
Okay.
Foundations. A lot of people think this is like, again, this is a love and relations podcast.
Right.
And where we talk about not just intimacy, love between a man and a woman, but we talk about all different type of love and relations. And today we're talking about the love and the relations between our kids, and that's the foundation right there. And when we look at a foundation, we ask ourselves, what is a foundation? What is a foundation? A foundation is like when you thinking construction wise, a foundation is like a structure, not a structure, but something that holds up a structure. It can, something. And when you think about that, something that holds up a structure, you have to think about the relationship between the child and the parent and the foundation. And as parents, we are our children's foundations.
Right.
We are our children's foundations. Our children, like, oh man, look like we got a caller already. Man. All right, all right. Somebody want to tune in on that question. I told you it was a hot topic. You reached the Edmonds. You can tell us what you're calling about.
Hey, Sharice. Hey, Tim.
Hey, what is
I was
up?
I was calling to give you guys my opinion about the school situation.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I know most people beg to differ, but I am personally on board with sending my kids back to school for several reasons. The main being, I'm not a teacher, and I ain't afraid to admit that I am that parent that's gonna be standing behind them with the belt, like, what is 2 plus 3? And I don't want to traumatize my kids like that.
I feel you 100%.
And some kids just really need to be in that school environment to really get the learning and won't be able to really get it and grasp it like they should over the internet. And I feel like just teaching them also, keeping their hand sanitizer on them, don't touch their face and things like that, and sending them to school with the Lord's prayer and covered in the blood of Jesus. I feel like they'll be all right.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, there we go. And you know what? You brought up a good point. We got to think about the danger of it, about sending our child back to school, but we also got to think about the fundamental part about it. You're right. You're right. We're not at all. We're not teachers. Teachers have went to school to learn how to teach a child. And again, that's something,
that's a skill to be able to teach not just one child, but multiple children. We are the parents that send our children to school to make sure they're behaving. We stay on top of them. We work with the teacher. We appreciate teachers because we aren't teachers.
We do appreciate our teachers. We do. We do. Now,
And I don't know about some people on here, but if he my fifth grader, he has some math that I'd be looking like, dang, I ain't do that. I'm doing this back in
yeah, and that's what we were, we were having a conversation on Sunday about that. Some things that the students learn now is something that like ways that they learn it, like long division. The way I learned long division, my daughter is learning it a totally different way. And I may, like, even with reading, like I may know how to define to them the
context and
the contents of verb and stuff like that. But like to teach it, it's like, man, how do I teach
where they can understand it? Because
and
all
I
kids have
understand the
different
way they can
learning.
understand.
And
kids all learn differently, so it is a task.
And I think that's the true gift of a teacher. Like they know know how to teach. Where some parents don't know how to do that, and some parents don't even have the patience to do that. Like you said, we gonna stand behind you with a belt, and you better learn this.
Now what is
traumatized
2 times 6? And don't tell me
but
you don't know.
I'm cleanly blocked from Facebook. I don't know what I did on Facebook jail, but I am. But I just want to let you guys know that I am tuned in. This is Kelsey. You know, I tune in every week.
Hold on, I don't know how to do the
we got a bone to pick with you anyway, sis. But we'll say that for off the air.
Okay.
Congratulations on the new baby girl. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling. So again, guys, if you want to again, call in if you want to tune in on that question. How do you feel about kids going back to school? Are your kids going back to school or are you not? If you don't have kids, how do you feel about it?
Yep. Everybody call in and let us know y'all opinions.
Let us know. Now back to foundations again. We love to we love to
talk about our relationship.
We love to talk about like kids, like when they go to school and they misbehave and stuff like that. We like to talk about kids, and we like to say, oh, show some home training, but we got to think they may be showing home training.
Yep.
They may be just showing environments, home training. And then it always goes back to the parent, which is the foundation. And again, a foundation is something that holds up a structure. And we got to know the difference between a structure and a foundation. Our child is the structure and we are the foundation. And then that's when we always got to ask the question, what are you made of? Are you a strong foundation or are you a weak one? Like that's a big question. Like, what are you made of as a parent? Like as the foundation that holds your child up. And the stronger and the bigger the foundation, and that's the bigger the structure grows. If a structure, like if you see one of those big skyscrapers, you'll see that a big a strong foundation that's holding that skyscraper up. So again, a lot of the times, like when it comes to kids and parenting, we have to act as a strong foundation. And what are some of the ways that we act as strong foundations, man? Like this is a big topic. I knew we went we got some parents out there. We don't have some parents out there, but again, this is a good conversation that me and
everybody can chime in.
Yeah, everybody can chime in. We got a question.
I believe parents provide children with the tools they need to build their futures. I agree 100% with that.
Again, yeah, and that like a foundation, man, that's a good one. A foundation, like the elements of a foundation. That's the elements of a foundation. What does that foundation provide for that structure to actually be able to stand tall? And that that's perfect. What does that what are we providing for our structure to stand tall? Are we degrading our children? Are we building our children?
I think to help sow into a child. Okay, I feel like with a strong foundation, right? I think that it starts with sowing into your children at an early age, like speaking positive affirmations to them and stuff like that. I think that is a good start to a strong foundation. And also when the parents, whether they're in the same household or they're co-parenting, I think that it's more effective when the parents show a united front and they support the children and everything that they set their minds to as well.
Yeah, that's real big. Again, the elements of a foundation and what you provide. Again, and a lot of people think like in order to be a part of the foundation, you have to be a parent. And that's but as parents, that's what we need to watch. As guardians, that's what we need to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Who we allow to be a part of our foundation, our children's foundation. Again, do we allow our children to just look at TV? And again, the TV, like different artists, stuff
The
like that,
YouTube
YouTube and
access,
stuff like that can be a part of a child's foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I'm telling you, it like we never knew, like, we heard, because we got young kids. We
Mm-hmm.
heard about how TV, like kids are stuck to TV and games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We never realized that until we actually bought our children devices where they can actually play, and like a game where our kids can actually play, and the game
Mm-hmm.
actually have big influences on our kids. So
Right.
sometimes we have to monitor that and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just be in that foundation.
Yeah, I think it's imperative, like in general. Like I always said to myself, I'm gonna I how I take my approach with my kids, especially with them getting older, when they were starting out and stuff. I monitor every single thing all the way. I'm talking about music. I'm talking about games. I'm talking about movies. I'm talking about TV shows. All of that. Like I monitor it, and I have my oldest. I have her trained to, if something doesn't seem right or something seems inappropriate, she's a really good judge of character. She's like, oh no, I can't, no, we can't watch this, turn this off. No, my mom said, no, I can't do nothing like this, I can't do that, stuff like that. Like I feel like it's good to also explain to your children when they get older and get understanding, hey, this is why I don't want you watching this, this is why I don't want you to be a part of this.
Yeah. And again, speaking of kids, we got one right here. Again, babes, my wife doesn't play when it comes to, like, you know, monitoring and structuring with a child. Again, we right now we laying
Yeah, I think I'm the bigger disciplinarian because I have to do it every day. But with Tim has a strict discipline with the children, but he don't have to say something 2 or 3 times. And
Mhm.
I discipline them, and I still have to talk to them 2 or 3 times. When Tim say, listen, didn't your mom say this, or your mom said to do that, or this is what y'all gonna do, it's nothing. Everything is silence. I think I do believe that having a male present in their children's lives, or maybe if some of you guys may have lost your baby father or your husband, so you may have like a brother or a dad or someone. I believe it's imperative to have a strong male to help you shape like your kids when it comes to like discipline and stuff like that. When I tell you, when a man speaks and he has that authoritative voice, when I say them kids sits down, they sit down. I think it's imperative, definitely. You definitely need a male and a female to mold a child.
Definitely. Again, we got a question here, babes, about
Okay. Let me see. I'm sorry.
you all be
Every parent wasn't taught how to correctly build. I believe the same. It takes a village. Yes, we're a firm believer, and it takes a village. You see, guys, this is why. This, this is why Legend needs to go to sleep. But anywho, guys, so the next question is, I'm sorry, I went up too quickly. It says, you all being Christian, what is your belief on Dwayne Wade take on supporting his kid and not just him specifically, but in those certain situations? Do you support your kids' belief? Do you want for a certain age, do you force them to live a certain, hold on, I have to hit your comment, a certain lifestyle while living under your roof? Okay, so here's my thing. I admire that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are supporting their child. Do I agree with the way that they're going about it? Not not necessarily, but at the end of the day, they are supporting their child, and that's just me being a human being in general. No one wants to write off their child for their lifestyle just because you don't believe in it. I like that they are supporting their child. However they choose to do it, that's up to them. I have nothing to say about that, when it comes to that lifestyle, because I don't live that lifestyle. I don't live that lifestyle. I'm not gonna judge why someone chooses that lifestyle. I have no heaven nor hell to put no one in, but I do think that it's imperative to support your children and their endeavors, because there are a lot more things worse that a child can do besides choose
This is the thing. Like,
that type of lifestyle. Honestly, it's so much going on.
I'm glad you brought that up. Like, I got a lot to say on that, and then again, some people say it's not my business. Some people say, hey, it is your business. But hey, I treat my daughters the same way as I treat my sons. If I tell my daughters to stay in a child's place, I tell my sons to stay in a child's place. Mm-hmm. If I tell my daughters you're too young to have a boyfriend, I tell my sons you're too young to have a girlfriend. And the same thing with that. I feel as if they kind of jump my personal thing. I feel like they kind of jump the gun. The child don't even know itself yet. How do he know it's like who he wants to date, what he wants to be, and stuff like that. I think they jumped the gun on that with that situation, and I think they kind of forced them into it. Again, that's my opinion. Not saying I like it. That's just my opinion. Like, hey, you
and everybody is entitled to their opinion.
That child may wake up again. You got to look at it. That child may wake up one day and say, hey, this is not what I wanted to be. Like, and that child may wake up and people change every single day. Just like me and my wife, we change every single day. Like the things that we wanted. Yeah, we're still young. I'm 29. My wife's 27. What I wanted at 25, I don't want at 29. What I wanted at 20, I don't want at 29. The same thing with the child. What that child wants at age 8 may not want at age 10 or 15 or 20. So again, I'm I got a lot to say about that. And I think they jumped the gun, and I don't think it was they didn't allow their child to actually grow. They kind of they kind of forced it. I think they forced it.
I feel like just when it comes to the support of supporting their kids, I think that they have that down pat. They have it down pat to a T. I get it, but like I said,
how do you support a flower though? How do you support a flower? Do you actually take it out the ground and force it to grow? No, the flower is going to grow. What you do to what do you do to the flower? You put it in front of the sun. You water it and stuff like that. You don't actually play a part in the actual growing. No, the flower is going to grow. The flower's going to grow.
I just believe
that's it. You just let it grow.
That, I just really believe that as parents, I feel like there's a way for us to help our children make good decisions and practice making good decisions. And I feel like when it comes to lifestyles in general, like partying or drinking or dressing a certain way, I'm raised old school. Everything I had to do everything when I was of age. Anything that I did, I had to sneak into it. These kids nowadays, they don't have to. Their parents just letting them go. So
and again,
we live in different times.
And just
now.
like you said, like I felt like to parent, like you can't, like children are like you. All you can do is be a part of your child life and help guide and raise them. Like
Mhm.
even as strong as a foundation must be to hold a skyscraper, it
Mhm.
still has no part in building the skyscrapers. Like it still have no part in building the skyscraper. It just holds it up and feeds it the nutrients, give it the things that it needs to grow. Like
Mhm.
that's what a foundation does, you know. And it's the biggest influence of the actual structure because it's holding the structure up and it's feeding the structure and it's not folding, you know. So again, like that, you know, that's our opinion in the situation. Again,
She clarified her question. She said, I
that that's
apologize.
not that's not she.
I
That's
mean, I'm sorry. He he changed his question.
mm-hmm.
Basically, he said the basis of the question was, do you support your child in whatever they do, or do you let them know they are at an age where they cannot choose? Does your support have to have an age requirement, or are there any limitations on the support?
You know, like that's a good question. I we do support our children,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I this is how, you know, different parents are different. You know, when you're in my household, you abide by my rules, and
Right.
you abide by my rights and my wrongs. So if I deem this right, like, you abide by my rules. Now when you get your own, like when you get your own household, you can buy by your
Your rules.
rules. But like that's how I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to shoot down my children's dreams, but I am going to guide them. I'm not going to force them, but I am going to guide them. I'm going to always give my opinion in the situation, but I'm not going to I'm not I you can't force. If you force a child, you're going to run the child away. But at the same time, like, at the end of the day, you gotta set that foundation where,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're in my house, so this is my rules, you know. Like, if you don't set that foundation, then, like, I'm telling you, you're gonna get ran over. And
Right.
that's how he is. I'm gonna support my children on anything that they want to do. But I, as like, this is what it's my belief system, and I believe that, like, again, I wouldn't encourage my children to do what me and my wife did. We got together at a young age. We
Mm-hmm.
were like, and a lot of people don't make it as young as me and my wife did, and a lot of
Right.
people get damaged, and a lot of people stumbles at those when they try to do the things that me and my wife did at that age. We thank
Mm-hmm.
God that we didn't get damaged, or we didn't stumble, but we stayed strong. And what I want for my children is, I want them to go through that selfish stage where they're thinking about them, and not thinking about a relationship, or how I'm going to keep a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Don't get me wrong. I know my daughters are going to have relationships. I know my son's going to have relationships. But at a young age, I wanna teach them how to. I want them to be selfish and think about themselves and what they want in life. And
Right.
I think that's the best way to be. Like, your youth, your youth is your selfish, like, is your selfish stage
Mm-hmm.
where you can afford and you're able to be selfish and think about what you want, and not have to think about what a baby needs, or another man or another woman
Mm-hmm.
wants. You can think about what you want. And I think that's what they kind of messed up at. Like, the child, like, didn't even know what they wanted. Like, how did they know about the sexuality of what they want? They don't know that yet. They think they know.
Right.
Me and my wife thought we know about this thing called life. We thought, like,
Mm-hmm.
when we got 29 and 27, that we was gonna have a big house on the hill.
I'm
But
25.
I guess when life hit us, when
I'm,
I
I'm 25.
no, babes, you're not 25.
Babe,
You know what,
don't
babes?
tell them people that I'm 25
Okay,
and you're 29.
if she's 25, I'm 27.
I've been 25 for 3 years. Next year, I may turn 26.
Again, guys, And again, I got, man, you was a trip.
Because I was following you and I was with everything you was with until you went trying to tell people my age and stuff. I said I'm 25 and you better tell them that.
If y'all want to tune into the conversation, give us a call at 205-851-0185. Baby,
it is pinned in the comments. If you guys look, you'll see it. I pinned it. Give us a call. Let us know what y'all think about this topic, foundations. Also, let us know how do you feel about the kids going back to school or why you're keeping your kids home.
Hey, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Like I know you gave your personal experience again, like with the kid about the kids going back to school. Like my wife, she, you know, if she wasn't working, she would have kind of wanted the kids to stay home.
Yeah, I would have kept them home.
Me, I don't. Again, I think the kids needed to go back to school because
he said that from the very beginning that once it was clear and as safe as it could be, he felt like they needed to go back.
Yeah, because again, I'm not a teacher. My wife is not a teacher. My wife is just like the caller that just called. She'll stand behind them with a belt. And,
jack them right up. Turn the camera off.
And, you know, and that ain't the way. That ain't the way.
Not the way to teach.
That's one thing that we disagree with. And like when my wife stand up,
4 apples.
I'm like, babes, don't yell at the boy. Don't, he's just a baby. He's just a baby. And so again, and when it comes to that, we have two different, and that's the thing when it comes to foundations also, guys, like how do you cope with two different people with two different upbringings and two different parenting styles? That's a big part of, you know, when it comes to, you know, raising a child and being that strong foundation. Can you come together and actually raise a child with two different upbringings? You know, that's one thing that me and my wife, we don't struggle in at all. But that's one thing that we do, like, we actually talk about. Like, we actually talk about, you know, like.
Because we definitely did, me and him, we did have different upbringings.
We did. Definitely.
But one thing that was that we had in common was the structure and the strictness. Tim got some aunties that's real strict.
If you
his
can
mom.
If you can you can hear. Like my kids, they got it easy.
Yeah.
They got it easy. My aunties, like if they ask me something and I said they, you know, they'll give me that mean look. If you can then you can hear. Like that's it. And then you better say, ma'am, excuse me or something, because if you then you can hear it. Like they ain't play. And if you one more time, you might get.
And our so that's not like the strictness, like for discipline. We're not overly strict in certain things that I grew up with that I did not agree with and within my upbringing up into a certain extent. But a lot of the things that were instilled in me have stuck with me, even though I did become a teen mom. I've never been to jail. I've never been in any sticky situations whatsoever. My family always prided
and it's so
certain things in us.
And it's so funny because I think my upbringing was more strict than my wife's. Not like as in like disciplinary wise. Like it was more strict. So. And you know, she's the more strict parent. And I'm more lenient. Like I go there when I have to go there, but
I'm always there.
She's always there on. Like I be telling my kids, shh, your mama gonna hear you. Like she's more.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am that parent. Keep playing with me. I'm gonna knock you out. These are like, you know how you start just randomly saying stuff when your kids start getting on your nerves. You just start randomly saying stuff. And I'm that parent.
And I be like, they just kids. You ain't gotta talk to them like that.
He don't want me to say nothing to Legend. He don't want me to say nothing to Legend.
He's just a child, babes. Again,
they all children.
He's just a child, guys. Again, share this share this podcast, man. If you like it, like the podcast, share it, man. We're talking about foundations. How can you be that strong foundation for your child? Like, how can you be? What things can you possess to be it? Like, how can you co-parent and be that strong foundation? How can you work with others and be that strong foundation? And speaking of working with others, I think like our generation has has like that's kind of our weakness, working with others.
Mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm.
we want to ask like, why you talking to my child like that? Why you you know, you don't touch my child and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's something that me and my wife, I think if we don't hang around a lot of people.
Right.
So
we do have a village. With
and the people that we do hang around with, like we trust, like we can't afford to hang around. You know, we can't afford to
because the
be.
world is different.
Yeah, we can't afford to just have any friends. We can't afford to just have any associates. We pick our friends and our circle wisely. So if somebody in our circle corrects my child, man, I ain't gonna like like obviously they like the people that I have in my circle shares the same value as me. So I'm not like I'm not gonna jump in and say, why are you talking to my child like that? Matter of fact, my child better straighten up because like we may jump that child. We may jump that child.
Meet me outside right now.
Like again, I'm like an old school parent. Like the teacher, if the teacher called me, I'm not saying, hey, my child. No, I know my child, and when my child get home, after like they may be waiting on some chastisement because again, I know my child. I'm not.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm a strong believer in knowing your children. Your child will surprise you here and there. But parents, let's be real about it. We know if that teacher call us and say X, Y, and Z, we know what type of child we got. We know nine out of 10 times, hey, my child said this or my child did that, or my child do have a focus issue. Because if you are an active parent and you're paying attention to your child at home, then you know what your child is capable of.
And the thing about it is, a lot of people like, you know, I we know a lot of young parents, and that's one thing with me and my wife that I'm just so gracious that I have grateful that I have a wife that understood, like, you know, when we had a child, it was no longer about us, and we exit the point, we forfeited the point where we wanted to have our selfish stage, and we had to focus on like our child, you know, like our child and the foundation of our child. And somebody asked a good question, like, what are some keys you can share to others to build a strong foundation? And that's one thing that we can share. Like that's the thing that we're talking about now is like having a strong village, watching who you like watching who you build a like it's no longer about you anymore. So you have to watch who you come in contact with, because believe it or not, they're part of your village. Like some young parents have anybody in their house. Like you can't have anybody in your house around your kids, because your kids are like are still young. They're feeding off of everything, not just their bellies, but their mind. When you say something, when you think your child not hearing, like your child is hearing.
Children are like sponges. They absorb and soak up everything.
Yeah, you got to watch who you hang around, who you are, like who's your crowd. Like it's no longer and we're living in a, like, our generation is not like we are not like, especially our kids, they are not the generation that says, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Like, nah, they're gonna do as you say. Like if you sitting there talking and gossiping in the house, your kid gonna go to school and talk and gossip. If you sitting there like talking and gossiping with your homegirls and picking like fights and stuff like that, your kid's gonna go to school and do the same thing. You gotta like being like, you have to like
be mindful of the influences,
and it like you have to be like, I love this. I think I made this quote up. Show me a strong building and I'll show you a strong foundation. I made that quote. Show me a strong child.
Timothy Edmond.
Okay, yes, show me a strong child and I'll show you a strong foundation, a strong village, and a strong parenthood. Like if you like if you your child, like if a child is an overachiever at school, a lot of the times they got a strong foundation at home. And a lot of the times if a child is a troublemaker in school, sometimes they may have a weak foundation. And you know that's it. Like we always, like, a child is a direct reflection of their foundation, which is their parent, who are their guardian, who are they being raised by. And like, that's why I tell my kids, don't go to that school and embarrass me. Like,
Okay.
don't go to that school and embarrass me. Like, cause they ain't looking just at you, they looking at me. And the thing of like me, like we even got like a little testimony with that. Like, our daughter was getting in trouble in school one time, and then we went to a conference. We spoke with the teacher, and the teacher was like, you know what? I had to call you guys because when I see that the way that child speaks and her mannerisms, I knew that wasn't her. Like, I knew I knew that wasn't the way she was she was brought up. So again, and that, like, people look at that. And the child is a direct reflection of you, and sometimes if that person see like, hey, it's no use in it, they're basically saying it's no use in talking to that parent because we already see what that parent is teaching. So like, again, strong foundation, and that's a big tip that I can actually give you guys. Like, be that strong foundation. Why? Like, you're no longer a child, you're no longer like, you no longer in the selfish stage where you can think about yourself. You at a time where you have to think about someone else, and that's the building, that's the structure, that you can't be selfish. Like, and the thing about a structure, like, if it falls, it's dangerous to the people around it.
Right.
So imagine a building falling, say for example the Twin Towers. When they fell, it was dangerous to everybody. Thousands of people died when that building collapsed. Like, in the same thing with the child, like you could have been raising the future president. You could have been raising a lawyer. You could have been raising a doctor. You can be raising an influencer, a leader, and they can be a bad leader or a good leader. People around them, like, people like, it's dangerous. That is dangerous when you're raised, like, building up it can be a bad building or a good building. Some buildings that people like, they get cheap when it comes to foundations. They want to, like, instead of using concrete, they want to use like things that's way cheaper. And then when the building is big and tall and looks so beautiful, guess what? It collapsed because the foundation had cracks in it. It allowed wind to come in it and stuff like that. And that's why we have to stay strong as a foundation, so our building cannot just seem beautiful or seem strong, but can be actually strong.
Do you believe implementing prayer and reading the Bible with your child at an early age? If so, what age is a good age to begin this process?
Again, like, that's a good question.
Our kids, especially our oldest, they love like church and stuff like that. So we ended up, when Faith was small, that's our oldest, when she was smaller, we had got a Bible like with pictures and stuff in it, and we used to show it to her. She probably was like about maybe like 2-3 years old. Then at the time, Tim was also still, praise dancing and, ministering and stuff like that. So she was able to grow up in it.
And that's the thing too.
So I think it's very important. And I say you should start at maybe the age of 2, when they can start recognizing like pictures and stuff like that.
And the thing is, like, I remember, like, again, you when it comes to that, I believe, like, again, it's my household, and the things that I believe. And when you, like, the Bible says, raise a child up in the way they should go, and they or when they're older, they won't depart. So again, how do you, like, and we're speaking about how do we raise a child, and a lot of times, you don't, like, a lot of people try to force the Bible on their child. A lot, like, again, like, I don't force the Bible on my child. I actually live the Bible. I live the word. So my like, I when I go to church, my kids come to church with me. When they see me pray, they see me read the Bible. So again, when they're older, and they kind of, like, that's something that they will follow, and they'll see the fruits of your labor. Like, so again, I think, just being an example for your child. And also, like I remember when I moved to Atlanta with my dad, my stepmom, and my stepmom used to get us up in the morning, and we used to pray before we leave the house, and I think that was you know, and that kind of that taught me, you know, how to pray, and that also taught, you know, that, you know, and I that, you know, so different things like that. You know, it all depends on you and your character. Again, I
Yeah.
think the best leader, the best leader is someone that leads by example and not just with their mouth. You
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of people can talk, but can they actually walk the walk? You can tell me that you're the best, but can you show me that you're the best? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell me that you love me, but can you show me that you love me? You can tell me that you're faithful, but can you actually be faithful? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people talk,
I can,
but
babe.
they
I can talk to me, babe. I can.
Uh, hey girl, you better stop. We talking about kids. You trying to make one, and I already got
See,
four.
look, you lost me. You
I
lost
already
me.
got
You
four.
lost me when you say you're trying to make one. See, you always reading the wrong language. We are not on the same love language.
So a lot of people, like again, a lot of people want to talk, and this is the thing when it comes to kids. You know, you can talk, but you can talk like you can talk to your nose turn red and actually bleed out and your tongue gets swollen, but you know, you can tell me anything, but like my pastor say this, like, you know, you can tell like what a parent is doing and talking, and
Mm-hmm.
when all you got to do is talk to their kids. All you
Mm-hmm.
got to do is watch somebody's kids and how their behavior and stuff like that and their mannerisms, and then you
Uh-huh.
can see how the household is actually operating, the fruits of their labor, like that's actually their fruit and how they're operating. So
Mm-hmm.
like that's that. Like when like when you have kids are tellers, they tell even they
Mm-hmm.
ain't trying to tell. Like you
Mm-hmm.
go to that school and tell them people, hey, don't tell them people my business. They telling your business. They showing you. They ain't telling your business. They showing your business. They showing how you operate in the house. Like if a house is divided against itself, it will fall. And then it's gonna start with the kids. The kids, like it's gonna start with the kids. They're gonna exemplify what they learned in the house. People say, I said this before earlier, people say, like, show some home training.
Better show something.
Kids show home training.
Mm-hmm.
They show home training.
So whatever you teaching in their home, they
they
shoot.
show they again, they show home training. Like what type of home training? It may not be the type of home training you used to, but
Mm-hmm.
they showing some type of home training.
So look, babe, we got another question.
Mm-hmm.
It says, do you believe in your child choosing their own religion, or do they have to practice the faith you believe in while in your home?
I'm Joshua.
What does scripture say?
As for me and my household, we will praise the Lord.
And that's
Like
on period.
I'm Joshua. If you're in my household, then you not no, you're not worshiping
Yeah.
Buddha or Muhammad.
You do that.
You do that in your own household.
In your own house. When you get old enough to make that decision, and you're in your own home, you can do that.
Yeah.
But how we serve is how we gonna serve.
Yeah, that's that.
It won't run us away from our child.
Now, yeah, we won't, like, don't get me wrong.
We
like,
just won't. We not gonna discuss religion.
No, we're not gonna. We won't, because I'm not gonna be silent in my household. We're just not gonna. I'm not gonna force.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I'm not gonna force.
Yeah. I don't want to be one of those people that want that beat into like, oh,
and I
if
think
you don't
most
do this,
people,
this was gonna. I don't want to do that.
Again, guys, I think most people that have to force their beliefs on someone is not living their beliefs. They're just talking their beliefs, and somebody's seeing a flaw in that. And most people, they don't want, like, they run away from, they want to be perfect. They run away from the flaw. And if you running away from something, like, you got to think, you got to examine yourself. We always like to examine the child or the person, but we got to examine ourselves. Like, what am I doing? What am I exemplifying that my child doesn't want to be led by me? So we gotta examine ourselves. Like, why are they running away? Why don't they want to be led? So, like, we always have to examine ourselves when it comes to that. You don't have to force anything on anyone, but you do. If you believe it, you better live it. That's how I feel. Like, don't be no hypocrite. If you're gonna believe it, then you better live it. Yeah, and then somebody just said, "Do you believe that you can force them away from your faith?" Yeah,
Yep.
by not living what you preach. Like
Right.
if I go to church and say hallelujah, and then I come home and curse like a seller, like and curse them out like a seller, like do they really like? Hey, when they think about church, they gonna think about their mom or their dad coming home and cursing them out like a seller, and then going to church and saying, "Oh, I love you, Pastor. Oh, I love you, Lord," and then showing hate towards me. Like you can definitely run a child, anybody, away from anything
Right.
if you don't if you don't practice what you preach.
Hold on, I lost the question. So the next question stated, since the topic is foundation, in what ways are you all teaching daughters how to be a wife slash sons, husbands, being a man slash provider, being a woman slash building the home?
You know what? Again,
We starting with the basics for the foundation.
and we you know, and this is why I love my wife, and you know, I like I thank God for every morning when I go to work. Sometimes I even tear up just thinking about being like living, having to raise kids without her, because I feel that she's an excellent example of how to be a wife, how to be a strong, not just a wife, but a strong woman. You know, my wife is submissive, but at the same time, she has her own mind. Submissive don't mean do as I say, you know. Submissive, like it doesn't mean that. And you know, and my wife is the perfect example of that. And I feel as if,
Oh,
you know,
thanks,
me
chocolate.
being like, you know, me, I try to go, you know, I try to lead the household and be the perfect example of a father, of a man, you know, of a
I came from a strong background of strong women and strong men. And some of the women in my family, they of course, worked better jobs than most of the men in my family, like my uncles and stuff. But my uncles always held the house together financially by providing. And they always showed my aunties. I've never seen any of like my uncles disrespect my aunties or talk to them any type of way or act like they don't appreciate them. None of that. I came from, like I said, I came from these strong men and these strong women. So I thank God that I was able to find a strong man, because now we're together. Like I know I'm a strong woman. I have a strong personality. So I know that only a strong man would have been able to handle me. And I feel like I got one of the best men, if not the best, because when it comes to our foundation for parenting, I just feel like we're always on one accord, even when we may disagree on certain things. I just feel like that we just always on one accord. At the end of the day, we come to agreement on how we're gonna raise our kids and what we're gonna impart in our kids.
Yeah, you gotta again, like that's what me and my wife, we just like any couple, we the we get into arguments and disagreements, but one thing, when especially when it comes to our kid, we have to realize that we're raising a next generation. We're raising somebody that we want to grow up and be successful and to stand on their own. So when we make a decision, like, and we disagree, and if we disagree on something, that's something, like, sometimes I don't know when to shut up. Sometimes I don't know when to say, hey, let's go back and talk about this. But that's something that I agree on. Like, hey, we gonna come, like, let's separate a little bit and think about it, and then we gonna come back and we gonna talk about it again, and we gonna come to some sense, because we can't afford to make a mistake on like we was already, like, again, we was young when we had our first child.
Teen parents.
And I feel like, you know, a lot of things we didn't know. So, like, again, we can't that's one thing we can't afford to do. We had to grow up fast because we can't afford to make it a mistake and blame it on our youth, like we were young when we had you. Like, so many parents do that, like and you know, and I don't think it's fair to the child. Like, it's not, like, don't tell me you were young, you know. Like, so that's something, like, I don't like, yeah, we we cut all that young junk, that foolish junk out. We actually communicate. And,
we got another question too, babe.
Mm-hmm.
It says, do you believe when building a foundation that there are gender roles like men pay bills and women cook and clean? Or do you believe that leading the home is 50-50, that both lead together, both handle responsibility together? You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I like, again, I don't know, man. I was kind of raised old school. Don't get me wrong. I don't like, again, you're like, I'm a firm believer and a preacher in this. The way you run your household is the way, what works for you is what works for you. A lot of people when it comes to faith, your faith and what you believe in, a lot of people get misconstrued by religion or about how, like, our tradition, like how they think it's supposed to operate. You know, how my grandparents, some told me how it's supposed to operate, and they lose the actual, like, they lose the love of God. They lose, like, you know, what's at hand, what's the important thing about this. And that's the same thing with the relationship. The important thing is that we're together and that we're thriving and that we're operating. That's one thing. When it comes to, like, I want to be the man that pays the bills and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I don't look down on somebody that's a man that stays home and take care of the child, like take care of the kid,
children,
while the
house,
woman, you know, I'm like, you know, whatever works for them is what works for them. Like that's just me. Like, whatever thrives off of your household. But as for me and my household, like I don't know. I just like, I take joy in, you know, going to work and, you know, actually providing for my family. That's something that.
And over here, it's like, for example, with me now working, our responsibilities are shared in the household. Now, prior to, it wasn't
But Beezy, I like to cook though.
Yeah. See, you know, and that's another thing he has that come in with one of my uncles as well. Actually, my favorite uncle. He liked to cook. Like, I grew up watching him pay all the bills and do majority of all the cooking. My auntie had a great job.
You know what,
she
y'all?
paid very tiny things.
Oh no, like, again, that's what I think I missed. Like, again, that's why my kids are going, like, I'm not going to, like, I think that's what we do, especially, I'm not trying to get on no race thing, but especially us black folks, we like to, like, kind of force our kids out the house, and they don't get all the instruction and all the life lessons that they're supposed to learn. Like, that's one thing that I know we kind of, like, didn't mess up on, but kind of messed up on. Like, my wife family can cook, but guess who had to teach her how to cook? Me. And I think that's because I got her out the house too early, and they could have taught her how to cook and all that stuff. You know, they could have taught her how to do.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Your uncle could have taught you how to make those that cornbread, but we tried to rush it, and now you still trying to learn how to make the cornbread, and you don't know how to make it. And that's the same thing. Like, again, I want if my daughters have a husband or becomes a wife, I want them to be the best wife they can actually be. So guess what? I'm going to teach them. My wife's going to teach them how to be a wife. I'm not going to rush my daughter out where she has to figure it out on her own.
Right.
And that's what people stumble. That's what people stumble.
I think I think society also stumbles where they automatically always trying to only teach young girls how to grow up and be wives. And it's so many young men out here that could do it the same structure of how to grow up and be a husband. You know, I feel like that even in the church, in society, you know, it's like no matter where you at, it's always like a woman has to do this in order to become a wife, or this is what this woman has to do. But I feel like it's not enough teaching out there for a lot of these men. And then when they do get married or they do get in these relationships, they don't last, or they don't understand their role. And I'm a firm believer in, like, you know, like Tim said, we both were raised old school. So him paying the bills, that is what I'm accustomed to. That's what I'm used to. But at the same time, like, you know, I do the cleaning, I do majority of the cooking. You know, I do what I'm supposed to do. But when I have to work, my husband is doing those things. And even though I don't have to contribute to bills, I'll say to him, babe, let me pay the light bill, or babe, let me pay our internet bill, or babe, I'll pay my own phone bill. Shoot, even if he be done did all of that, let me buy him something to show him appreciation. I know he likes certain things. Let me buy this. It's just what works for you in your house. I don't see nothing wrong with a woman who don't want to sit home, and I don't see nothing wrong with a man who wants to be home more with his kids or his family. If it work, it work. You know, long as y'all ain't homeless, child, it work. Not if y'all
again, and
homeless,
that's
that's
all.
another story.
And again, especially in this day and age, it's up to you on what you like. Again, we try to shape our relationships and shape our children off of what society says. Again, like, and that's where we mess up. It's no. Again, like even this podcast, anything, like everything is all opinions. Like we live in a world full of opinions that think it's facts. Like it's facts that a man gotta do this, and the facts that a woman has to do this. Again, and that may not be your love language or the way you want your relationship to be ran. That may not be what makes you happy. So you gotta look at those, and you gotta also like, and again, like me, like when it comes to a foundation, it's not just like my children's foundation have a foundation. Like me and my wife have foundations. We don't just listen to ourselves. Like I'm not the type that'll say, hey, this is my child, and I'm gonna raise my child the way I want to raise my child. No, I listen to advice. Don't get me wrong, I listen, and what I think is wise, I heed to why I apply it. But what I think is foolish, I'm not gonna disrespect no one and say, hey, I think this is foolish. I just don't apply it. Again,
I'm still a work in progress in a lot of things. Like I told y'all, and I keep saying this because a lot of people who know me personally on here, y'all know that I'm a strong personality. I can be very outspoken, so I don't mind taking advice or constructive criticism. It's when people, I feel like, try to take shots at you. There's a way, if you feel like someone is doing something, especially if you're a part of the village, if you feel like, hey, maybe you should try it this way, then, say that. But those ulterior motives and shots, your tone and your delivery with someone like me, you have to be mindful, because sometimes you may get me, I'm not gonna lie, you may get me wrong. I am a work in progress with my thought process and my mouth. That's just how I am. I'm working on myself with certain things. So I just feel like if it's constructive, I'm with it. But we do have another question. Okay, hold on, baby. How do you show love with discipline? Like, how do you show them that you are disciplining them out of love and now out of anger or hurt or disappointment, so they don't get mixed emotions? You want to answer first?
Again, I'm a softie. Like, at first when I was younger, I used to be so like, I think like discipline was my, like, I was like, "Rrr." But now that I done got older, I think I done got soft a little bit.
You sound.
And even when I have to discipline my kids, I kind of like, I over explain. Like I kind of tell them, like, this is why I'm doing this. Like I
think
like
that's
to,
good though, babe.
I like to explain, because you got to understand, like, a lot of people, this is my thing that I disagree with. But again, it's the way they parent. I don't like to, my kids, they are human beings, like, and I treat them as such. Like I treat them as such. If I have to discipline them, I'm letting them know why, and I'm letting them know why. But that, like, because they're human beings. Like I'm not gonna say, hey, just beat you without, like, letting you know why. Like I'm letting them know why, the why behind everything. And the reason why I'm letting them know why is several different reasons. One, because they're human beings, and if they know the why behind something, then they have a chance of getting it correct the next time. So that's my way of showing love. Like I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you, like, why, if I'm disciplining you, whether I'm yelling at you or whether I have to take out the rod, like the Bible says. I'm gonna let you know why. I'm gonna let you know why. I'm not gonna just say, because I said so, or just because of this. No. Nah, it's gonna be a teaching moment. It's gonna be a come to Jesus moment. It's gonna be a love moment, and and that's it.
Because we do have to be mindful too, as well. I think like, growing up. Now, this is my personal experience. I feel like that we weren't allowed to express ourselves, even if it wasn't like in a disrespectful manner. As soon as you say, okay, well, mom, when you said this, or dad, when you said this, or such and such, it hurt me, or it made me feel upset. I want my kids to be able to express themselves in a non disrespectful manner. And I feel like that I want to be able to keep the lines of communication open with my kids. I feel like that's important. I feel like it's important to to have that, that line of communication open, because at the end of the day, me and Tim were teen parents. I don't want to be a grandma at 29 like we met his mom. I don't want to do that. So I want to make sure I keep, the communication open. I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to my kids' feelings and taking their feelings into consideration. Now, if it's something that I know is not for their, for their good, then that's one thing. But I feel like if your child, if you set that foundation now, your child will come to you when it comes to making those life decisions or next steps in life,
Yeah, definitely.
That's how I feel.
Again, like foundations, guys. Be that strong foundation for your child, so that they can grow. Like again, a foundation is really important in any structure, and your structure is your child. How strong, how tall do you want your foundation? Do you want your foundation to be just a small building? Do you want your foundation to grow into uncontrollable heights? How do you want your foundation? How do you want your structure to be? And if you want your structure to grow to be whatever it wants to be, then check yourself, like, because you are the foundation. Like, check for any cracks, check for anything. Like, be that strong foundation for that child. Do we got any more questions before we end the podcast?
He was just saying that was going to be his next question when we were talking about building a foundation based off like communication and like when they mess up in discipline and stuff. So we had already talked about it. That was what his question was detailing.
That's what's up. That's what's up, guys. Again, we really do appreciate you guys for logging on. Every guys, we're gonna be on here every Wednesday at 8:00. Just again, just like, share. During the middle of the week, we post the links. Again, go on the links and be a support and follow, share, subscribe to us. Like, do it, guys. Share this, share our links so that people can actually hear. And like, we do it for you guys. We do it so that you can hear. And again, this is all opinions. This is no facts. We're bringing the Edmonds household into your living room, and you can take and you can pick on whatever you want to take and pick on. Just like I say, I listen to people. I have strong foundations around me, and I listen to people, and I take what I want to take, what I think is good for my household. And the same thing with you guys. We're bringing the Edmond household into you. So again, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.